can apply Taylor series to find out the value of t at any time t plus delta t at any new time, considering xy location same, around function. Okay, we can find we can find we can find t around t small t x y. Okay, so same is for time derivative also. Okay, so how will so for t t plus delta t plus delta t, uh, okay, t small del t and delta t 1 factorial plus del 2t del t2 delta t whole square divided by 2 factorial plus like that term size. Now here we can say t, you can represent as like this. T plus delta t will be represented as n plus 1 and x and y will be represented as ij. Okay, x and y will be represented as, okay, it is n plus 1 and ij. Okay, now in this case your ij is not varying, ij is same, only term like this are varying. So delta t, this is nothing but at same ij and n. Okay, plus d2t dt2 at ij n and delta t square 2 factorial likewise. Okay, now if you want for this dt by dij, we know that dt by dij is here. So if you take dt this and we have delta t here. Okay, and if you take divide, if you take tij like this, n plus 1 minus tij n and divide it by delta t, you are going to get an expression like this, which will have terms like dt by dt ij at n plus d2t d2t del 2t and delta t by 2 plus you will have other terms. Okay, now you see this is the finite difference expression, this is the forward difference expression, finite difference expression, which is a forward in time. So if you have a time axis and you have levels, different levels, nth level and n plus 1th level, n plus 1th minus nth level, around nth level, that is nothing but t, and this is t plus delta t. So you want to find out what is there, what is the value at t plus delta t around t. So around this t, what is the value at this point can be obtained from Taylor series, and this is the, from that we got to know that key expression for del t by del t ij. Okay, with this additional terms. These terms are called as error terms. Error terms. Okay, these are called as error terms. When you want to convert PDE, okay, this partial differential equation into this difference equations. These are difference equation. Tijn plus 1 minus Tijn dt delta t. We are neglecting these terms. Okay, these variations del 2t del t square, like that. So these neglected terms are called as errors. Okay. So how good this expression is, it depends upon the first term. Okay. This delta t. So the order of accuracy, this is a forward difference. This is a forward difference expression, difference. Okay. So FD in time. You can get BD in time, CD in time. You can get similarly backward difference in time, central difference in time, and you can obtain the order of accuracy. For this forward in time case, forward difference case, the order of accuracy, the order of accuracy is delta t, order delta t. Okay, it is order delta t. Why order delta t? Why not delta t square, delta t cube? Because if you find, see, if you know the value of delta t, any delta t, this delta t value, this delta t value will be always greater than delta t square and delta t cube. Okay, so the highest error is in delta t. That is how it is called a leading error term. So highest error. So as you have small value of delta t, say for example 0.1, then this values, higher values will be neglected, will be very small. So that is the reason you have to take first term. Okay, first coefficient of the error term. So all these terms are error terms. So first coefficient is dt. So that is the reason we say that the order of accuracy of this particular finite difference scheme is uh, delta t. Okay. Okay. Yesterday I asked to derive the expression for d2t dx2, which was t I plus 1 comma j minus 2 t ij plus t I minus 1 j and delta x square. Okay, this was the expression I was asking you to prove. How you can prove? Again, you have to write a Taylor series for t I plus 1 comma j, which will be equals to t ij plus dt dx delta x plus dt dx delta x square 2 factorial plus dt2, sorry, dt2 is here and dt3 is here, del x3 delta x cube 3 factorial, and like this. And t I minus 1 comma j will be again t ij minus dt dx delta x plus, here it is plus, so next term will be dt dx square delta x square by 2 negative d3 t dx3 . Okay, delta x cube 6 plus d d4 t dx4 delta x4 divided by 4 factorial. Okay, likewise there will be another term here, and if you do that, here if you see, and you do this, uh, this thing, then you can get it. Okay, so if you add this two, so we will get ti plus 1. So you must have done. I'm just trying to uh, recapitulate it. Okay, I assume that you must have done it. I'm just trying to recapitulate. Excuse me. So twice Tij, and this terms you are adding. So these two terms will go out. These terms will become, uh, they will add up. So that will be like d2t dx2. Okay, and 2 is already there, so 2 will go, and you have delta x square, and you will have any other term, that is twice del 4 t del x4 delta x4 delta x4 divided 4 factorial. Okay, if you take this term here, ti plus 1 I plus 1 comma j minus 2 tij plus ti minus 1 j divided by delta x square will give you expression for d2t dx2. dx2. Okay, delta x square already we have taken, 2 got cancelled out, and you will get 2 4 factorial, and you will have a leading error term with delta x square and del 4t del x4. Okay, so and other terms will also be there, but the first leading error term is this. So this is your leading error term. Okay, this is your error term. Okay, so when you want to get an finite difference, or the difference expression, these are difference expression for a derivative around that discrete points ij, we got this expression with this error, which have a leading error term delta x square. So order of accuracy, and this is called a central difference. Okay, this is called a central difference, CD expression, central difference. So order of accuracy is order of delta x square. Okay, of delta x square. Okay, so we have seen that in many cases central difference expression is very good. Okay, in many cases central difference is very good. In forward difference, what was the order of accuracy in case of forward difference? In case of forward difference, order of accuracy was delta x. Okay, for backward difference, again the order of accuracy was order of delta x or delta t, like that you can say. And central difference, the order of accuracy was more. Okay, the order of accuracy was much more. So higher the power of in delta x square order, you will say that that is more accurate scheme. So this is more accurate scheme, more accurate approximation, more accurate approximation of derivative, approximation of a derivative. Okay, how, but these conditions are satisfied when smooth function is there. Okay, so provided provided smooth function, smooth function is available. Smooth, provided smooth function is available, is available. Okay, this is very important. Okay, all CFD is discussed about these things. Okay, so say for example you have a hyperbolic problem, supersonic case. For example, you have a supersonic case, and you know that supersonic problems are hyperbolic in nature, and all hyperbolic problems have a inbuilt, you know, is hyperbolic problems, hyperbolic PDs, and they will have a shock. Okay, you know that there will be a shock. Shock is nothing but the reason where there is a sharp change. Okay, sharp change in the variable, sharp or drastic change in the variable. Okay, drastic change in the variable, change in the variable, in the variable. Okay, so when there is a sharp change, there is no smooth function. The function is not smooth. Function is like a state. Okay, so in that cases, these accuracy relationships may not be true. Okay, in those cases, these accuracy relationships may not be true. Okay, you have to be careful about that. When you are dealing with hyperbolic cases, you have to be very careful whether the meaning of central difference having a higher order of accuracy always lead to a better approximation or not. Okay, it depends on also the type of the problem you are solving. So remember this thing. Okay. Now, as I said, we have to, for any problem, we have to do get the discretization of the terms, like we have to get the discretization of the terms like this, or maybe a term like this, or okay. So any higher order term also in x, y, g, anything. Okay. So that will be your governing equations. Okay. So from governing equation, for a governing equation, for a governing equation, you will do those things. For governing equations, equations, you will find this expression for ij. But you are solving a problem. When you are solving a problem, okay, what is the condition? We also need to find out discretization of our boundary conditions. Okay, you will have to discretize the boundary conditions also. Boundary conditions also. Okay, so say we have Dirichlet boundary condition. So T is given at boundary. So Tij should be given at Tij. Okay, what are Tij should be given Tij. There can be, you have a Neumann boundary condition. So in that case, this normal. Okay, so it depends upon the normal direction. It can be x or y. So that also you'll have to discretize. Okay, So that also you'll have to discretize. Okay. So here the conditions may be given like q n ij. Okay. Or you can have a combination of these two, and you'll have to specify like that. So you have to remember, the thing is that not only govern equations but also boundary conditions also need to be discretized. Okay. Okay. Now one another important thing is, say I have a domain. Say I have a domain of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay. So how many grid points are there in this system? In this system, we have grid points 1, 2, 3, 4 in J direction and 4 in I direction. Okay, so it is a 4 by 4 system. 4 by 4 system. So there will be, how many equations will be there? How many equations? How many discretized equations? So how many discretized equations? 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 Any answer? Okay. So number of discretized equations will also be 4 by 4. Okay. Now you recall, we have to discretize at every point. So one discretized equation, another discretized equation, next discretized equation, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you will have a set of 16 equations, simultaneous equations. Okay. Every description will give 17 equations. Okay. This you have to remember. And out of these 16 equations, some equations may become redundant because you will be knowing the boundary values. Okay, so you will be knowing boundary values. Suppose Dirichlet condition is there, then these will be known values. These are all boundaries, so these boundary conditions will be known. Boundary nodes will be known values. Okay, this might be possible, but this will be unknowns. These will be unknowns. These are called as inner points, and these are outer points. Outer points may be known. Okay, known from the boundary condition, specified boundary condition, and these are inner points. Okay, so having said this, let us take an example. Let us take an example. Okay, so consider a first order wave equation. First order wave equation. Okay, what is that? Just say I'm writing like this, plus a del u del x equals to 0, where a is a constant. Okay, it is a constant, and a is greater than 0. It is a positive constant. Okay. If this is not constant, or if this is a function of u, then it becomes a non-linear equation. Now this is a linear equation. Okay. Because this coefficient a is a constant. It is not a function of u. Okay. Or independent is, or it is not itself a dependent variable. Okay. If it is dependent, then it is problem. If it is function of x, a is a function of x, it is again a constant, so it is a linear problem. No worry about it. But now it is a problem. So this is a governing equation, so we need also boundary conditions. So you have a time derivative, so we need initial conditions. So initial condition IC, say IC is given at all x low. Okay, got disconnected in between. We'll connect it again. Yeah, now we are connected, right? Anybody speak up? I won't understand otherwise.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay. So this is, say, some function of x, and we need a boundary condition also. So that boundary condition at x is equals to 0, and for any other t, so it is u left of t, function of time. Okay. Now for these problems, we know what is the condition. We know, we already know that if for a finite domain, for infinite domain, what was the condition? For infinite domain, you had these many characteristics. Okay. Okay, like this. For a infinite domain, for a infinite domain, and time t. For a finite domain, you have to limit the x location. Okay. So you see, at the initial conditions, at these initial conditions, you have, at these initial locations, you have the initial conditions, and at the boundaries at this location. Now you see, at this is now truncated. This region is not there. This part of the region is not there. So here you need to have a boundary condition. You need to have a boundary condition. Okay. But suppose this point is going up and it is reaching here at this location. If it is reaching here at this location, in those conditions, here specifying a BC is a wrong thing. Okay, you cannot specify its one end and another end along the characteristics. That is a property of the hyperbolic equations. If you specify, it is called as over specification of the problem. So that is the reason we have one BC only at the left, and the other boundary point is considered open. Okay. So for this cases, we'll have to find out a solution. Okay, and we know that in general the solution, I mean analytical solution to this problem is u is equals to u naught x minus 80. This is general solution we know. Okay, this is analytical solution. Analytical solution. This is a known solution. Okay, you can refer any textbook to know the solution. Analytical solution, but we are interested in discretized solution. So we would like to discretize this. So we would like to discretize this along I and time also, and we would like to discretize this along I and time also. Okay, so how you do it? So we need to consider stencil. Okay, now suppose this is a x direction, and um, this is the y direction, means time direction. Okay, if this is a time direction and this is the x direction. Okay, and in x direction you may have the grid points. So grid points and same grid points will be there in time. So I'm just drawing one straight line like that, and say we are considering uniform grids only. Delta x, all delta x's are same. Okay, now there will be time levels also. So I'm just drawing the time levels here. There will be some time levels also. Okay, okay. Now say this is the n is equals to 0, and this is n is equals to next time, n is equals to next time. So we can say generally this is a nth and this is a n plus 1th. Okay, if this is nth, this is n plus 1th, like that. So n plus 1th is unknown. So say to find out n plus 1, to find out n plus 1 value around n, we are going to take all nth level values. Okay, so see you have a characteristics passing through it. So you understand, these points will be considered for calculating this value. Okay, these points will be considered for calculating this. These points will be considered for calculating this green value. Okay, similarly for other times also same thing can be done. Similar things can be done for other cases also, like that. Okay, so to calculate this point, now we will consider these 2 points. Now to calculate here this point, you will consider, to calculate this point we will consider these 2 points. Okay, similarly here also to calculate this point you will consider these 2 points if you are considering backward difference. Okay, so this is essentially backward difference. Okay, I'll explain why backward difference. To calculate this we'll consider these 2 points. Okay, this is called a stencil. This is called a stencil in CFD. The terminology used is stencil. Okay, so to calculate n plus 1th level value, we will consider all the values at nth level. Okay, all the values at nth level. Okay, at that ij, whatever I is. Now suppose we are starting I from 0 to I equals to n. Okay, so if you are calculating I at I is equals to 1, what is the value at I n plus 1? I is equals to 1 and n plus 1. We have to consider the values at I is equals to 0 and I is equals to 1 at nth level. Okay, this is a stencil. So with that stencil, we can consider the first expression del u by del t. So del u by del t, you can write u at n plus 1, and it has I only. I is not varying. Okay, in previous case also I have shown that x, it is not varying with respect to space. It is varying with respect to time. So the first expression for del u by del t at n is n plus 1 minus uin del t. Okay, plus second term, a is a constant, so it need to be taken out. So a I no need to describe, it's just a constant. So just take it out. And what about del u by del x I? Del u by del x I, you can have a forward difference, backward difference, or a central difference. Okay, but in this case, a is greater than 0, so you have a right running curve. Okay, so when you have a right running curve, you have only backward information, previous information. You don't have forward information. Okay, in those cases you do not have forward information, so you have to resort to the backward difference expression. So here you can write u I minus u I minus 1. Okay, now you say this is I. If this is I, this will be I minus 1, and next point will be I plus 1. Okay, in generalization. So this will be like this, and you will have a delta x. And since it is at time level n, it is time level n. You see these points are at time level n. But to calculate this ui n plus 1, you are taking ui n. Okay, ui n minus ui minus 1 n, and this has to be equals to 0. You got it? This expression, how you derived? So this is a forward difference in time, forward difference in time, and this is a backward difference in time, space, backward difference expression in space. Okay, forward difference in time and backward difference in space. Such as schemes are called as FDBS. FDBS short form is forward in time, backward in space. So FD. But this discretization is for I equals to, this discretization is for I is equals to 1 to n. Okay, because we have a boundary condition here. So it is only for I is equals to 1 to the last point. N means last point. Okay. So this whole expression can run from I1 to n, and you can get the expression. So at the boundary, at the boundaries, you have UL. Okay. This UL will be specified as some ULX, ULT. Okay. That we have specified as LT. Okay. We have specified as. Okay. Now what is to be done with this? This is all at I is equals to 0. This is at I is equals to 0. This is also at I is equals to 0. And these are to be calculated at n plus 1. Okay. Always. These are calculated to be at n plus 1. No new values. Okay. And initial condition is also there. So initial condition is all at all I locations. So your initial condition was u at all x, ui was given at uxi. Okay, for all I, all I, initial condition was given for all i's moving from 0 to 0, 1, 2 to n. Okay, and this inner nodes points. Okay, inner nodes. This is expression for inner nodes, and this is expression for boundary condition. Okay, so these expressions can give you the final value. So say for example you have n is equals to 0. For n is equals to 0, above expression will become, okay, for n is equals to 0, uh, initial condition is always given in the beginning. Okay, so for n is equals to 0, this expression will become ui 0 plus 1, right? And you can take these other values there. So it can be like this: ui 0 plus minus a delta t delta x in the bracket ui 0 minus ui minus 1 0. Is it? And other n is equals to and this is for all I, or I running from 1 to last point. For any other n is equals to 1, this ui again, ui will become u1 2 and ui will become 1 minus a dt dx ui 1 minus ui minus 1 1. Okay, and these are for all inner points. Okay, for boundary points, so if I have to write here for boundary points at n is equals to 0, what will be the boundary points? U L I is equals to 0, it will be 1 is equals to whatever the specified value at t at nth level. So at n0 and I is equals to 0 n1. Okay, so that value will be specified. This is for I is equals to 0, for I is equals to 0, for I is equals to 0. So you see, for n is equals to 0, for n is equals to 0, for this n first time we know the expression for I is equals to 0. We know the expression for, this is the expression for I running from 1 to 1 2 3 to n. Okay, like that. For n is equals to 1, again these expressions will repeat, and for n is equals to 1, ui will become n plus 1, that is 2, like that. And again these conditions will become like that, it will change. Okay, so these equations has to be solved simultaneously to get the solution once you have initial known from the known initial conditions. Okay, so algorithm to solve such a problem is like this. Algorithm do you have a time now, or shall we stop now? Anybody will have to speak. Okay. Hello. Masumi, just give me, yeah, just give me a second. Huh? Okay. So we'll see the algorithm in the next class.